Greetings from Western North Carolina. It's Kevin Baxter here from NCSSM Morganton, and I'm speaking with you from somewhere I never anticipated having a Road to Morganton episode shot in my own backyard. I'm not very far at all from the NCSSM Morganton campus site, as we are, like all of you I'm sure, sheltering in place as we continue to prioritize the health, the safety, and the prosperity of our family and our communities here and across our great state. You know, this is a challenging time. We all know that. But it's also a time when we can reflect on and be thankful for all the wonderful things we have in our life. And I, for one, am thankful that we are here in Morganton, that we are part of the Western North Carolina community, and that we are going to find a way together to be resilient and overcome this incredibly challenging time. You know, I'm also really blessed to consider myself a part of the NCSSM community. I am overwhelmed and inspired every day at what I see as the incredible pivot that's been going on from our colleagues delivering the educational experience to the students every day in our Durham campus as well as our online program. Like educators everywhere, they have had to immediately really transform their curriculum and ignite a new way of learning, which would happen virtually without sacrificing quality and the content of those courses. So my hat's off to them for their many, many contributions, not just to our students across the state, but also to their peers, other educators for whom they can be wonderful sounding boards and supportive colleagues as they confront this transition in their communities and in their districts. This innovative spirit that's on display at NCSSM is obviously something that can be observed in communities across our state, from Carolina Beach to Cashiers, and we are just so fortunate to have such a committed and really inspiring group of educators leading our students in districts across the state every day. So thank you to the many people behind the scenes in central offices, in counseling offices, in cafeterias, bus routes, classrooms, and on and on and on the list goes, who are continuing to prioritize the development and safety of our students and our children across the state. Like all of them, we are eager to return to our schools, to our businesses, to our places of worship in communities statewide. At NCSSM, Chancellor Roberts is hard at work leading a process for exploring and defining just how that resumption of operations can begin to look in Durham and in our programs across the landscape. This is a work in process, and we'll continue to be committed to that work over the weeks and months to come, with a goal of articulating that for our constituents and our partners sometime this summer, as soon as those plans are finalized and we have some confidence from our governmental experts that we can proceed with a reopening strategy for the institution in Durham. During this time, we remain hard at work here in Morganton. Our team, NCSSM Morganton team, has been completing their responsibilities remotely here in Morganton and elsewhere, and the construction is ongoing. This is something that we have held on our timeline, and in the video that follows, you're going to really, I hope, be impressed at just how far we've come in a relatively short period of time, in spite of the coronavirus conditions and the persisting state budget impasse. With all that going on, we still wanted to find a creative way to tell this story, to stay connected, and to keep you informed about the status of your campus as NCSSM Morganton begins to come out of the ground. So with that said, I hope you truly enjoyed this special stay-at-home edition of a Road to Morganton episode. We produced this so that you can get an inside look at where things stand and also begin to see the transformation going on just around the corner here at the site. I hope you enjoy it, and I beg your forgiveness at the quality given our current reality. I've had to shoot this entirely on my phone in selfie mode, so we all have strengths. This is not one of mine, and I hope you will still be able to enjoy it and take a lot out of it. So until we are able to meet again, I hope you stay well, that your families remain well, and that you enjoy this episode of The Road to Morganton.
Okay, now hold it up.
Now, down a little bit. Corey, you hold your side where it is. Link, you go down a little bit so it's level. Perfect. Now give me big smiles.
Well, greetings and welcome to NCSSM Morganton. I am your plucky comic relief that's going to serve as tour guide and cruise director for a stroll around campus today, because I know that you're all getting tired of looking at your screens, joining your Zoom sessions, and being otherwise disconnected from public life. And so we thought it would be a really neat treat to produce a low-budget Road to Morganton episode to really give you a sense of where we're at today on the campus as we seek to really build this out on the previously described schedule so that the campus becomes operational in late summer of 2021 and welcomes its first students 1 year later in 2022. With that, I am here coming to you live from, drum roll please, we don't have sound effects on this budget production, the historic cattle barn. Yes, indeed. I am actually on the upper floor of the cattle barn, standing where eventually we will construct mezzanines that will look down to a performance space on the floor below. This space is going to grow and expand and really become, return to the glory it used to occupy as a significant icon for our region. We're going to treat this as the treasure it is and really allow it to become a spectacular space for events, programs, lectures, performances, and all sorts of activities for our campus, our students, and the community beyond. And so we hope you enjoyed today's tour, looking around the campus, and we hope to be able to see you in person real soon. Okay, so we're now walking down the academic street from the direction of the historic cattle barn and the residence hall, which is just off to my right, which is the east. And as you can see on the left, we have the academic commons site coming up on Joyner and Goodwin in the distance. And this will give you a sense of the central artery of the campus known as the academic street. That will be a pedestrian and bicycle thoroughfare to allow for students to access buildings around the campus. There are no tunnels, there are no covered walkways that span the campus. It will push our students, faculty, staff, and community partners out into the general public space when they're walking around the campus. So I'm standing here in front of Goodwin Hall. As you know, this is the main campus entrance area, and as you can see in front of me here, this will be the main entrance quad. And so when we zoom back over to Goodwin, this front entrance is going to have a staircase brought in that's going to feed up to the second floor to recreate the look and the design that was here upon opening. For now, though, the building has been completely demoed and abated inside, and we're going to walk around a little bit to see what's in store for the new campus. So I'm coming to you from inside of Goodwin Hall on the bottom floor of the 4-floor building, and I'm actually in the very center of the building. So what you see behind me, as you can see, has been totally gutted to leave some of the freestanding walls and some of the area that we're going to be redeveloping. This is actually going to be the main check-in area for the campus. And so when you walk into Goodwin Hall, if you're a guest or a visitor, you'll be coming to this space to visit with our security team to be checked in. And for those of you who are unicorns from Durham and that campus, you'll notice that this is going to have a very similar feel to the Bryan lobby that we have in Durham. So again, this will be your initial checkpoint upon entry to the campus. And from here, you'll be sent off or brought to the destination that you're headed to visit on the campus. You can see here that there are hallways going in each direction in this part of the building. Some of the old radiators are on site. And there will be an elevator in this building that will bring us up to the 4th floor and each stop in between. I'm now up on the 2nd floor of Goodwin Hall, and you can see a lot of natural light coming in, probably a little bit more than we'll have eventually because of the fact that we're still in a very early stage of construction. But what you can see as we walk through Goodwin Hall is actually that we're going to be repurposing a lot of the pre-existing spaces into administrative suites for the various functions of the campus, a number of multi-purpose classrooms with latest and greatest technology, and also some multi-function spaces that will allow for meetings, conference rooms, and various activities. This is a really special part of the building here. It's a very large area, as you can see. And that this area right here is actually going to be where the staircase adjoins the building to come in on the 2nd floor if you're a student, faculty, or staff member. This will allow you to proceed into this main hall area where there'll be a commons type feel, allowing for students and faculty and staff to gather, to have meetings, to individually study and work. And then as we walk towards the back, which you see here, we're actually going to be putting into place a breezeway with a call out to the Durham campus design that will connect this space with the space in the annex behind. And I'll show you out the window what we're talking about. That small building on the second floor will be one of our faculty hubs, which will be an area designed for faculty to meet, to congregate, to work, and to have vital office functions provided to them. We've now reached the third floor of Goodwin Hall, and as you look through here, you'll see another one of these very large spaces in the center of the building. This one has a couple of unique features. As we walk towards what is the western side, the western wall of the building, you'll see that it leads out onto a terrace. So walking out here, you see the incredible vista that this allows. You can see in the background here the academic commons and the residence hall under construction. Out in the distance behind the residence hall is the barn, and behind that the South Mountains. Looking in the other direction, a little less impressive at the moment, given that the foliage is coming back into play here, but in the late fall and winter you would see straight on up the mountain to Table Rock and some of the surrounding summits. And you also have the opportunity to look down towards downtown Morganton at that time of year without the obstruction of the trees and the leaves. Below, behind this truck, is actually going to be the site of our wellness center. We'll come back to a discussion on that later. And as you can also see here, we have Joyner Hall neighboring this building, another one of the adapted reuse facilities. That building is going to be home to our fine arts program. I'm back inside the third floor now of Goodwin Hall, and this space is probably one of my favorites on the campus. It just so happens that I'm going to be stationing my laptop in a hub environment inside this space when the campus opens. This is really where we're going to have our senior administrative suite, which will be a bullpen type format, just like most of our other administrative suites throughout the campus. And it will actually have a commons area in the space I'm standing in now, and it will have opened up staircases that will take you to a fourth floor where there will be a boardroom and a multi-function space with a vista that looks out incredibly in each direction out the four sides of the compass to be able to see towards the South Mountains, to be able to see towards Table Rock, Broughton Hospital to our east, and the North Carolina School for the Deaf to our west. An absolutely incredible space. We envision that being a place for our Board of Trustees to meet, other boards and committees to come together, as well as off-campus partners to have some meetings of their own. There'll be a small, very small catering type kitchen to be able to support that space, as well as the opportunity for the obvious accessibility by way of the elevator all the way up to the top. I'm now outside of Goodwin Hall, just to the south of that building, and as you can see behind me, work has begun in a very significant way as the foundation and the slab are laid for the Academic Commons building. This two-story new construction facility is going to house all of our laboratory spaces for chemistry, biology, physics, and the sciences, as well as research lab spaces for our students. It'll be joined by the library for the campus, our major dining commons facility, and our fabrication lab, engineering lab, and other spaces on the first floor. It's really going to be a neat building, kind of the front door to the campus as it relates to a lot of glass and exposure, an arcade type approach to the outside of the building so students can bring their meals outside. And as we look to the southern tip of this building, out in the distance near those trailers, that's actually where there will be an outdoor amphitheater located, which will allow for classes and presentations. Okay, we're now at Joyner Hall on the front steps, and just across from us is that Academic Commons facility that's being laid as I described to you earlier. And so Joyner Hall is the home to our Fine and Performing Arts program and our Humanities department here at NCSSM Morganton. And so as we walk through the front door here, I'll give you a sense of what to expect. We'll get that roof cleaned up before opening, don't worry. So this is going to be a major central point of the building as you walk in the main doors. We're on the center floor of 3, and as you can see, this is a space that has a lot of natural light. And we'll be creating an open classroom and gallery formatted space here to allow for gatherings, showcasing student work, but also for our faculty and students to get together, whether it's in the music, drawing, the arts, you name it, to be able to have a space that looks a little bit different than the rest here on the campus to be able to engage in. This is going to be looking out towards the greenery to our east here on the campus, out in the direction of the Broughton Hospital complex and the Agricultural Extension Office. Also in this building, you'll see a number of classrooms, which will be suited for piano and other music program and art program classes. There'll be an ensemble space on the third floor, music practice rooms, a video and audio recording lab, as well as a number of spaces that are meant for collaboration among students and faculty and staff. So now I'm standing on the great lawn that is flanked on one end by the historic cattle barn and on the other by the library at the southern tip of the Academic Commons. And what you can see behind me is perhaps the most impressive symbol of what the work is that's happening on site right now, because we have started going vertical on the Residence Hall building. This is the critical path, as we call it, which is the building that we need to make sure is completed on schedule, around which the rest of the campus opening is hinged. And so we are on schedule with it. The team is making incredible progress in spite of the circumstances with COVID-19. We've implemented social distancing protocols here on the site and with our CM at Risk team, and we're really thrilled that we've been able to take advantage of the really good weather and move forward very expeditiously on this building. This is a 5-story structure that is underway, as you can see, and we're mapping towards the end of June to top out the steel on this structure. And as you can see around me here, there's tremendous work being deployed on site as it relates to the number of personnel and heavy machinery that are operational here. I had to restart this video 3 times because of a vehicle backing up and making a lot of noise. So the good news is they're paying no attention to me, and they are eyes on the prize, ready to create this campus and get it open as soon as possible. Hopefully what you can appreciate by way of this video is how much dirt is having to be moved on this campus to create a level space and condition for our students, faculty, staff, visitors, and partners to be able to safely engage and negotiate the campus environment. You can see behind me here the amount of dirt that's coming out of this one space, and there again, it's trying to make it as level as possible here from the barn all the way through to the main entrance parking lot to the north of Goodwin Hall. As we walk closer to the barn, we'll show you a little bit of the view from here and also the interior condition. So here we are in the interior of the cattle barn, actually. This is the bottom floor. As you can see, it's actually a 2-story structure, and the cement that runs along the length of the building above me is actually going to remain in place on the northern and southern wings of this structure. That will allow us to construct our new mezzanines that are tiered, looking down to the performance and multifunction area below on those patches of the space. In the center, here on the barn floor, is actually where we're going to have our multifunction event space and activity space. To the east, which is out in this direction, we're going to bump out the structure to allow for an appendage to be placed there to allow for greater assembly area and also capacity in this building. All told, we're looking at about 460 individuals who will be able to attend events and programs of certain kinds in this building. It'll be the main campus assembly area and also a very impressive space for our community partners and regional partners across the area and around the state to be able to visit the campus and host events of their own. Okay, so now here I am at the very southern tip of the historic cattle barn, looking out to the south. So behind me, you see the South Mountains in view and Western Piedmont Community College in the foreground. And you actually begin to see out in this direction the entry road that is being created and has been for quite some time, I might add, which we expect to be in near complete form by late summer of 2020. This is an incredibly important pathway and road because what it will do is allow for main entrance for the campus to come off of the Hopewell-Berkmont interchange off in the distance, allowing for easy access to I-40 at exit 103. More importantly, one might argue, it will allow for connectivity quite deliberately with the Western Piedmont Community College campus just to our south without having to go out onto exterior roadways. So what it will do is really help to further facilitate an educational district between the North Carolina School for the Deaf, the North Carolina School of Science and Mathematics, and Western Piedmont Community College to allow for interior connectivity and access for our students, faculty, and staff that will help to undergird and promote the kinds of partnerships and programs that we are looking to collaborate on. It's really something to see in terms of how much dirt they've had to move to make this a reality, but it's nearing a point of celebration as we prepare to complete this road on the lead up to completing the campus. We're at the end of the tour, and you might think this is an odd place to finish because I'm basically standing on a large grassy knoll, which is just off center from Goodwin Hall and across the entry quad area from the academic common. So why am I standing here exactly? What's the significance of this space? I'm glad you asked. This is actually the site of the Student Wellness and Activity Center that is the last part of the project that we wish to construct to be able to provide a fully functioning operational campus for the students, faculty, staff, and others who join us when this program kicks off in 2022. This is a critically important facility. It always has been, ever more so now that we're living through the effects of COVID-19 in our society and the world around us. But this is a facility where we would centralize all of our wellness functions. Everything from physical health to mental health, recreation, athletic training, and physical therapy type activities, all the way through to more passive recreation and stress relieving and anxiety mitigating activities for our students. Critically important in these times and looking forward. And as you well know from following this project, this is the part of the campus that we are privately fundraising dollars to build. The state has provided us with $73 million to be able to build the majority of this campus. That brings us most of the way home. The balance needed is somewhere on the order of $12 to $15 million to bring us to a total of $87 to $88 million, rough order magnitude, to finish this campus out. We're thrilled that we're more than halfway there. We've raised more than $8 million with a lead gift coming from Carolina's healthcare system, Blue Ridge, and their incredibly generous $5 million naming gift for the facility.
And so we find ourselves at a point where we need to strike a very delicate line here and balance between exercising very appropriate responsibility and sensitivity to these challenging times we're living through and the disruption it is causing, not just to us, but frankly to all of our neighbors, our partners, our supporters, and our champions. We know that this is an incredibly difficult time for so many of you, and know that we stand with you shoulder to shoulder and ready to be supportive in whatever way we can. And I would invite you to keep the lines of communication open with my team and I to let us know just how we can be helpful to you as we rebound and recover from this pandemic. At the same time, as we've noted, we have a very specific and prescribed timeline that we are mapping towards so that we can open this campus on time and welcome students in 2022 to a comprehensive facility that is able to meet their educational, social, and residential needs. And so, for those who are able, who are not confronted with dramatic disruptions by this pandemic to their way of life and frankly to their philanthropic opportunities to be considered, we would invite you to please continue to be a leader. Please step forward. Help us find ways to close the gap and reach our finish line so that we can build this campus out. We welcome your continued support. We welcome your ideas, your referrals, your introductions, your bake sales, whatever it may be, so that we can make this campus vision a reality and do so in a way that will continue to stimulate educational innovation and opportunity for this region and beyond. And especially in these times, inspire, incubate, and activate economic development activities that will undergird our region for the decades that follow. I can't thank you enough for persisting through this video. You surely must be bored at home if you were able to consume all of it at one sitting. And so I would just say to you, please continue to stay well, stay safe, and stay in touch. I can't tell you just how excited I am to reconnect in person as soon as we make it through this crisis and we move forward. Take care.
Thank you so much to everyone on the front lines who's helping us get through these very, very difficult times. We appreciate you, and we love you for all your support.